Hey everybody, it is Chris Nolan from evenflowcc.com, and today I want to talk about one of my favorite subjects in the entire world, and that is sarcasm. A lot of videos on this channel will probably have to do with sarcasm. I really enjoy talking about it. When I was in graduate school, a lot of my communication research was on conflict management, but a lot of that research involved sarcasm. One of the papers I did in conjunction with a professor that was presented at conference involved sarcasm and its use and effect on conflict within the workplace. I just think it's a great thing to study. It's a lot of fun to study, but it's also misunderstood in a way. A lot of times when we think we're being sarcastic, we're actually being ironic. Now, irony is very misunderstood. In fact, I would say, in my opinion, my somewhat qualified opinion, irony is probably one of the most misunderstood communication devices out there. If you're familiar with the song Ironic by Alanis Morissette, there's really not an ironic statement in there. Most of what she's talking about is coincidence. Irony, simply put, is stating something and meaning something completely different. If I walk into somebody's mansion, because that happens all the time, and I look around and I'm like, man, what a dump, I'm being ironic. Now, if I say the same thing and I'm being an ass about it towards somebody, I'm being sarcastic. Basically, sarcasm is irony with a biting tone. So if you're being a jerk towards somebody and you're being ironic at the same time, you're actually being sarcastic. But I read an article in Inc. magazine, and I've linked to it before, and I'll put the link to it down in the description as well. And it's summing up a research article that is also linked within that article. And the researchers are from Harvard and Columbia, so you know it's legit. And basically they're saying that sarcastic people are ultimately more creative and more successful. They're saying basically being sarcastic and recognizing sarcasm is really a mental workout. It's exercising the brain, so it's helping us to become more creative. And I'm going to read some of their findings. I'm going to read it straight off the page because I didn't bother to memorize it because I didn't want to. But they're saying that to create or decode sarcasm, both the expressors and recipients of sarcasm need to overcome the contradiction, i.e. psychological distance, between the literal and actual meanings of the sarcastic expressions. This is a process that activates and is facilitated by abstraction, which in turn promotes creative thinking. Duh! I will never understand why academics can't just say what they mean. We have to put it in such academic language, and it drives me up the wall. Basically, being sarcastic and recognizing sarcasm is tough and makes you think really hard, therefore exercising your brain. Why they can't just say that, I don't understand, but that's the case. But basically, sarcasm is a catalyst for creativity in anyone. And I think it's an interesting angle to look at sarcasm from. And if you think about it, it's true. When you're being sarcastic with somebody, you are putting a lot of effort into it, whether you realize it or not. And when somebody is being sarcastic with you, you're putting a lot of effort into it there. If you've ever been sarcastic with somebody and they don't get it, A, it falls flat, B, it feels terrible, but C, it makes you realize that they're not understanding something. So it makes a lot of sense. I'd like you to weigh in on this. I'd love to see what you have to say in the comments about this. It's probably not something that you've thought about before. I'd love for you to read the article as well. Like I said, I'm going to link to it down there in the description. But if you're feeling really ambitious, read the research study. I've done it, and I think it's fascinating. So leave a comment. Go to my website at evenflowcc.com and check that out and leave a comment there as well. And subscribe to the channel. Like I said, we're going to be talking about this a lot more. I do a lot of conflict research, and I do a lot of conflict management coaching. And, sometimes sarcasm comes up. I even got in an internet fight. I can't believe this happened. A message board fight. That's where I am in my life. With another conflict coach who said that sarcasm is just evil and has no place in any form. And I don't know that I agree with that. I would never, ever say that you should universally use sarcasm in conflict coaching, but sometimes it's okay to add a little levity if you're comfortable enough with that person to understand, for both of you to understand what's at stake and understand your relationships. And sometimes a sarcastic comment can add a little levity to things, and I think that's okay sometimes, but I would never say that universally. And this gentleman thought that that's what I was doing, and I got in a chat room fight or a message board fight. Wow. So anyway, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. And hope you're having a good weekend, and I hope to hear from you soon.